What you guys want on these shirts here?
Five each on the shirts.
4 gets hot.
Did you do 4 on each of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So first stop of the day, not bad. Paid up a little bit more than I like to for those 3 items, but the Columbia fishing shirt is new with tags, and the retail price on that shirt is $55. I won't be able to sell it for that, not real quickly anyways. So I'll probably be looking to get maybe in the mid-30s hopefully for that shirt. But the cool button-up dress shirt, short sleeve, is not something I usually like to source, but at a thrift store that shirt would cost almost double that, and so I was all right lifting it for $4. And then the area button-up shirt is always a solid seller. I can usually move those guys for right around the low to mid-20s depending on size, print, and color, so happy about that. And I should be able to make a good profit off all three of those brands. All 3 of those brands are brands that I like to move and sell regularly, and for that reason I don't mind paying another $1 or $2 for items like that. And I always remind myself it's still cheaper than a thrift store, so we're good.
All right, next stop here is moving sale, estate sale. Looks like my good friend Phil's already here. Actually, he just pulled in behind me, so.
Dice at that last stop. There was a whole bunch of clothing, some shoes, and I did get to actually see my high school track coach. She's a legend from where I reside from. She told me today she's been coaching for over 40 years, and so I just wanted to give her some love and appreciation. And I had joked with her that they should rename the football stadium after her, and she didn't seem to think that was too funny, but it's a little early and maybe my jokes weren't that great.
Size 6s.
A little small for me.
You can make some brownie points with those, huh?
Or make somebody else happy across
Yeah,
the country that
that's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
want to pay full price, right?
That's exactly right.
Having any luck today, guy?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You're doing real well.
All right, couple strikeouts in a row, but that's all right. It's kind of early. It is just Friday. Let's hope for the best at this one.
Morning, how are you? Not too bad. How much you want on your jacket?
That one's $3.
$3?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do like 2 on it?
I think it's $2.
You do $2? Okay, cool.
All right, this is an Eddie Bauer down insulated puffer jacket. It does have a few little marks on it. I did ask her. She said she thought it would probably wash out, but it gave me an angle. She wanted 3, and after I mentioned the marks on it, the kind of staining, asked her if she'd take 2. She was good with that, so I'm good with that too.
I said no.
I picked up these 2 Wuxterbach porcelain bowls. The woman who sold them to me gave me a great deal on them, with $3.50 a piece, and one of them's a nice ombre orange, the other one is red, and these are solid bowls. Met a few really nice older women, and they were asking me why I was filming the purchase of these bowls, and I just was kind enough to tell them I was a YouTuber. They asked if I was a TikToker, and they went ahead and subscribed, so really appreciate that, ladies. And they gave me a deal. They wanted $10 for these, and I got them down to $7. These bowls are worth it. Now, one of them does have a chip, but it is a very nice color, and then this one right here is in really good shape. These typically are selling for right around $30 in pretty good shape, so good buys. Last stop, the ladies were just so cool, but it was sprinkling, and I just decided not to film because I didn't want to get my camera wet and have to deal with that. So let's cross our fingers, hope for the best.
Right. This is how it works, right?
You don't need it
I mean, yeah.
$5?
I used to-
Did you guys do 4? Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. How much on the corduroys?
Okay, sorry. No worries.
$5.
Do you have? Yeah. Do you have? You could probably.
About on that guy. $5. Would you do 3?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that worked. Thank you. $5.
She says $10, so it's up to you.
Did you do 3?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I was a big fan of the show The X-Files, and if you know, you know. And I'm a conspiracy theorist. I love aliens and I love believing in some crazy stuff, but I couldn't pass on this, and I did get it for $3. Otherwise, I was able to get a North Face women's rain jacket for $4 and a women's North Face hoodie for $3. Usually I pass on North Face hoodies, but it wasn't just a cotton one, it was the performance material. Got it right here, and I don't know, could have went either way on the hoodie, but the rain jacket's a great grab. I'm gonna go ahead and get this poster put in my car. This is just one for me. Cool score. Decent stop. Got a couple items that I can sell. North Face is always pretty solid for me. There are some things I've said in past videos I won't buy that's North Face, and hoodies are kind of one of them, but for $3 I don't mind holding on to that guy. With fall coming and summer being here, hoodies do sell for me, and especially the more upgraded materials. And because that one wasn't just pure cotton, that's probably what led me to make that decision to buy. But super stoked about getting the X-Files poster. I often quote, I want to believe, to a lot of my conspiracy theorist friends, and I know that's kind of far-fetched and out there, but we all have strange stuff we believe in, and if we don't, well, you're probably pretty boring. So anyhow, was able to run into another fellow reseller, my boy Lee. He's a good dude. He said he hadn't been out, I don't think, too much today. He was super stoked I got that poster. I think he had his eyes on it, but I swooped it up before him, and that's just how it goes. The early bird gets the worm. All right, decided to come back. I forgot there was a pair of wrestling shoes. If I can get them for a few bucks, it'd be worth a grab. About on the wrestling shoes.
$2.
$2. I can do that. Mind if I give you quarters?
Nope.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Thank you. Have a great day. All right, wrestling shoes are always a solid seller for me. These are a little beat up, but $2, I can handle it. I'll wash them and maybe turn that into 25. All right, just ran into this sign. Let's see what we got. Much at that one. Just picked up a Juicy Couture wallet for $1. It's probably not worth a whole lot, but wallets are easy to list, and it was a little bit wet, but I can dry it off. I did, however, donate a couple dollars to the little girls who were selling donuts and lemonade, and I didn't take anything. I usually don't, but they were trying to raise money for a trip to Disneyland to dance. And I always try to support the young kids that are out working garage sales, whether it's lemonade stands or fundraiser stands, because I would want somebody to do that for my kids. And I also know that it's just good garage sale karma to do that kind of thing. So I strongly recommend you giving back. So just pulled up to another stop, but I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to just share with some of the new people who have started to subscribe to my channel, give them a little idea of who I am and why I'm doing this and how long I've been doing it. And so I am somebody with a medical background, and I've always resold. I've been doing it for about 15 years, but I always just did it as a part-time side hustle to supplement my income. And as a young guy who's got a growing family, in this day and age, it's important to have good cash assets, and my medical job was always solid, had good job security, but it really didn't pay for all the things a person would need, that a person who wanted to grow their life and have good things for their kids. And so I would always do side hustling. I would do sales on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and I sold a lot of hard goods, lots of sports equipment, furniture, dog houses. But several years back, when I was really tired of my medical job after 15 years, I took the advice of my older brother, who had been encouraging me to start an eBay account
account and get real serious about my reselling. And so I did that, and after about 3 or 4 months I was having a lot of success, but the winter weather came in and I realized that it was probably not going to be lucrative for me to do it year round. And so I was smart enough to realize that there was a lot of legitimacy in the clothing market, and I did a lot of research, and whether you know it or not, the used clothing market is exploding right now. When people are struggling to buy groceries, the thing that they start to cut costs on are clothes, but they still want to buy good clothes. And so that's where I come in, or used clothing resellers come in, and that's a big reason I got into the clothing game. I still like to consider myself an everything reseller, but 80% of what I do sell and make profit off of is soft goods, such as clothing and shoes. But this time of year is fun because when I can get into garage sales, I do find a lot more hard goods, and I make some good money doing that. And so I like to share my take on what it's like to be a full-time reseller coming from a smaller area, a more rural market. And I think that that's a different take than a lot of resellers. A lot of the people that inspired me and the people that I like to watch and still learn from come from bigger cities, bigger markets. A lot of them are running bigger stores, and I'm not that person. But for a lot of us who are just getting started out, or for a lot of us who have limited storage space and are operating out of our house, hopefully my channel will inspire you. Hopefully there's some things that you can learn from me, and I'm just grateful for you watching. So I'm gonna jump out here, see what I can find.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you? How much you got on your baseball glove, ma'am?
My sister, I think she said 20, but I'm not sure.
Okay, don't worry about it if she wants that much. No big deal.
Them off the date.
I'll take $1.
$1 on that? I can handle that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hydro flask for $1. I just keep it for myself. It's not too beat up, and yeah, I beat the hell out of these things off hunting, camping, drinking, fishing, boating, all those outdoor things guys like to do.
So not too much at that last stop. They did have a Rawlings baseball glove. It was a right-hand throw. It was decent, but they wanted $25 for it. And that glove brand new probably wasn't even $25, much less. I couldn't resell it on the online market for that much. And that's just the case. There are people out there at garage sales, yard sales, moving sales, estate sales that just want to get rid of their stuff. Those are the people I'm after. And then there's those people that want gold for their junk, and those are the people that I have to handle with a delicate nature, and sometimes I just have to walk away. So now I'm going to share with you a little bit more about why I have a YouTube channel, why I'm a content creator. And the big reason I did that is I just had always admired people who made videos on YouTube. Now, the niches that I was kind of into were a lot different than reselling. I've been watching YouTube for probably 25 years now. The things I enjoyed watching were people who did travel, food bloggers, and that was kind of always my dream. But realistically, to do something like that means you have to have a lot of money, a lot of time. And as a single father of 2 young children, those kind of efforts were impossible for me. I just wouldn't be able to support doing a channel like that. But my hope is down the road, here in another handful of years when my kids are grown up, that maybe I'll be able to do somewhat of a travel or adventure channel, and that's where my passion really is. But when I initially started my YouTube channel, my very first video was on how to make a carnivorous houseplant in a terrarium. I am somebody that loves houseplants. I have almost 40 of them, and I really was passionate about that. But after making my very first video, I realized very quickly that I would get bored with that, and it would be something that would be hard to make content and enjoy it all the time. And so I played around with different niches. I went as far as sharing with the audience and my subscribers different things I did on my homestead or my micro farm, how I cared for fruit trees. Me and my kids crossbred chickens, brooded them up in an incubator, hatched them out. And I also shared a little bit about my wood cutting business and my tree trimming business, how I operated that. But the thing I really delved into and had the most success was my reselling. And that came at a time where I was still struggling to find direction with my YouTube channel. And so I just started to decide to make videos about what I sold. And I started creating 1-minute shorts and sharing with my subscribers what I sold. And that really took off. And so then I started making longer form videos, and I didn't have as much success doing that, but it did come. It came with time, practice, and just learning how I could better myself with those type of long form videos. Now I'm here to tell you, my videos are not the best. I don't pull bangers, home runs, and bolos all the time. I'm not super handsome. I'm not super charming. And I certainly don't have the best sound quality or editing. But the one thing I found success with, and I think this is true in life, is being consistent. And so what I love about my channel is that someday, somewhere down the road, my kids are gonna be able to look back and see this, and they'll see what I stood for. I hope that they realize that I did this to better their lives as well as my own, and also because I just wanted to do some main character stuff with my life. And I was tired of making other people's dreams come true and putting my needs and my dreams on the back burner. And so I hope that people understand that this channel is not so much just about reselling, it's about growing as a person. And I certainly can say in the past 6 years, my life has changed tremendously, and I've lost a lot of things, but I've learned so much. And that's really the beauty of life, is when you can lose, learn, win, and repeat. And if you're too proud to admit that you're wrong or learn, life's probably never gonna get better for you. And I hope that you don't have that way of looking at life. So that's a little bit more about me. I hope you're always out on your purpose and living your dream. And I hope that you're making those dreams come true. So I hope that inspires somebody. I will get off my soapbox now. I'm gonna get back on the road, try to find a few more garage sales before I start hitting some of the outliers. And if you've made it this far, please reach out there and hit that like button for me. All right, strike out there, just a lot of clothes and a lot of junk. So we've just now hit about 10:35. It's late morning. I have been trolling now for about 2.5, almost 3 hours. And I think I've just about exhausted all of the affluent neighborhoods in the biggest city near where I live. That's typically my strategy, is I try to go around and I troll heavily concentrated, wealthier areas. I like to hit those early in the morning, and then when I get to the later part of the morning, or even sometimes lunchtime, when it feels like all the goods are gone from those areas, I typically outsource to the more rural areas. And right now I'm just on the edge of the big city. I'm in a smaller area that's a little more blue collar, and I found that I've had pretty good success doing that. I think that a lot of people that are like me are doing the same thing. They're hitting the concentrated areas and then they're floating outwards to the more rural areas. By doing that, I'm still able to find good stuff, and it does seem that the people that are having garage sales in the more rural areas have not had as much traffic often as the more concentrated areas. So I'm pulling up to one now. It looks very small, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump out and check it out, see if there's a treasure.
It has everything in it.
Complete set?
Yeah, and it's the Zelda version of it.
Okay.
So
Like a limited edition
Yeah.
one? Okay,
kind of.
cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, y'all have a good day. I have a buddy that does video games. I'll let him know about it, all right?
Okay.
Okay, have a good one. So not much at that one. They did have the Wii. It was limited edition Zelda console, and it did have the box even though it was used. They wanted 40, which is a little bit out of my price range, and I'm not too crazy about electronics, even though I have sold a lot in the past. So I went ahead and reached out to my buddy, probably priced beyond what he'd want to pay too, but he is a video game guy, and he certainly knows how to haggle a deal. So just let him know, because he's always looking out for me. And one thing I could really stress that's been helpful is having friends like that, other resellers that are not selfish, that are willing to reach out and let you know what they're coming across. And I have several good friends that do that for me. They've helped me to grow my business. If you can find somebody to partner with to kind of skirt or cast out a net over an area, and then you can share with each other what you're finding, and you can find somebody that is honest and truthful, which might be hard to do, that's just gonna grow your business. And I've been very fortunate to have several friends like that, and all of us tend to sell a little bit different stuff, but I think there's enough stuff out there that is, as I always say, if we work as a team, then everybody's gonna get to share the wealth. I know not everybody's mindset is that. There's some selfish people out there in this world, but I strongly suggest trying to latch on to some people that will only help you to scan the horizon and find more things that's just gonna help you with your business. How much you guys doing on your jeans?
$2.
$2? Okay. How much on the hoodie?
It's $1.
$1? Here's the rundown. This is a salute to service hoodie. It's a Raiders, and Raiders is a decent team. I wish this was an adult. The adult ones go for better money, but I paid like less than $1 for this. So she wanted $1, and then she wanted $2 a piece on the jeans. I just bundled it all together, and so essentially I got this for free, paid $4 for $5 sale. And the Stetson jeans are always a good seller for me. Able to move those. They don't move as good as Ariat or even Cinch, but Stetson's a well-known name, so glad to pick them up. So just speaking of helping each other out in this reselling game, I was actually able to race back to a garage sale and take a closer look at a Wii gaming console for a buddy of mine who's tremendously helpful for me and my business. He's always looking out for me. He's always finding clothing that he knows I'd like to buy. He's always helping me make money. So for a change, I was able to at least go back and scan over an item that might be of relative value or worth a flip to him because he's more into video games and knows that stuff better. I just basically looked it over, talked to him on the phone, let him know what was present, what was missing, and simply just asked the seller if she wouldn't mind holding it for 10 minutes until he showed up. It took very little effort. It took 5 minutes out of what I was doing to stop, to go back, and to just do that for a good dude who's always looking out for me. And it feels good to be able to give that back because this is a friend who's always looking out for me. So I appreciate you, Phil. I hope it's worth it, and I hope you buy it, dude. All right, so things have been slowing down. I took a break for about an hour. I had to take my daughter and pick her up and drop her off at a friend's house to stay the night. But right down the road from her friend's house, I came to a garage sale. I was able to get into this North Face hoodie. They only wanted $1 for it, and I was good with that. I don't usually pick up the cotton ones, as I was saying earlier this morning, but for the right price and good shape, and this one's kind of got a cool logo hit. I was good with it. But the real grab, and I used the art of bundling, was this Carhartt women's jacket. Now, this wasn't a jacket I was super familiar with, and I don't sell as many Carhartt women's jackets as I do men. Typically, if I do, they're work utility, they're duck canvas. They wanted 20 on this guy. I was tempted to just pass on it, but I ended up asking them if they would take $14 for the hoodie and the jacket. The woman sat there for quite a while and thought it through, and she went for it. Now, I generally like to pay a little bit less, but this one was kind of original. I checked it. Comps are skewed right now on jackets, so I really couldn't get a read on it. However, there was 3 or 4 listed that haven't sold, and most of them were sitting right around $70 to $90. I don't know if this guy's going to sell for that. If I can get 65 to 70, I'll be happy. But I love Carhartt. I haven't came through enough Carhartt this summer. That's just the nature of the beast. It's just not been as good of a summer for jackets. So I hated to pass on this guy because Carhartt is my business partner. Well, I was just getting ready to wind my day down. I went around my local hometown, which is a much smaller community, and hit a few garage sales. But other than the Carhartt jacket and the North Face hoodie, I just couldn't find anything. It's past lunch. Everything's pretty picked over. And as I was heading home, I got a picture on my text messages of a couple pair of Ariat jeans, and my good friend, my buddy Phil, always looking out for me, the same friend that I was trying to help out with the Wii purchase earlier today, found me several pairs of Ariat jeans for $2.50 a piece. So I said, grab them. I'm grateful for that. I decided to boogie over here to the big city I was at earlier this morning and meet him. And so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop those up. Ariat jeans are a huge seller for me. I make tons of money off of them. They move quickly for me. One pair is FR, and I think the other pair are female jeans. Gonna jump out real quick, pay him, and grab them and get back on the road. Just met up with my buddy, my partner in crime, and he has been holding all these pieces for me since last week, but he also picked up the several pair of Ariat jeans, plus a couple more. These are Tyndale FR pants. He got these for me a few weeks back for just a couple bucks. he got me this FR shirt, which is also a Tyndale FR long sleeve work utility, couple bucks. And then today he picked me up this air yacht. It is a little bit dirty, but it's also flame resistant. That's money, that's a score. And then the big finds for me today is he got me this pair of air yacht FR jeans, thick stitch. Now they're a little bit dirty, but I still probably can get low 20s for them, maybe even mid 20s if I can get them clean. And then the real score is he got me several pair of air yacht thick stitch Western jeans. They're not work utility, but these sell really well for me. These are M5s. Got me another pair of lighter wash M5s, and then a pair of M4 FRs, and these are dark wash and they're super clean. Phil, you're the man. Thank you, sir. Again, that's what friends are for. If you can find somebody to help you with your reselling endeavors, to help you find stuff that you're after and you can do the same for them, it's just gonna help you make more money. So thank you, sir, appreciate you. Well, here is my haul for the day. All in all, pretty decent day for a Friday. The finish of the day was what was best, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But here's the rundown. I picked 21 items today and definitely had a little bit of help from one of my best friends in the reselling game. I paid right around $59 for all of these items. At least I think that's pretty close to what I spent, give or take a buck. And that puts me at a buying cost of $2.80 per item. And that is why I love garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, you name it. They're just cheaper. You can haggle, you can find some cool stuff, and it's a lot cheaper than a thrift store. So I keep preaching it. Get out there and be making some deals, especially in the summer months. It's good for you. It's good to be outside. It's good to be moving. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump down. I'm not gonna go through all these items individually like I have in the past, but I do want to share a little piece of what went on today because it's a good thing to share. It's a part of my life that I believe in, and I believe in karma. And if you don't know what karma is, it's that belief that if you put something in this world, you're going to get something back in return, and it might be good or it might be bad based on your energy and your intentions. And so these top 4 pair of jeans plus this air yacht shirt here were basically sold to my friend Phil for only $2. Here's the backstory on it. Several months ago, I donated a little bit of cash to a little girl outside of a garage sale. She was raising money for her gymnastics competition season, and that little girl is on the same team as my daughter. I just wanted to help her out. I ended up buying a little bit of clothing from her parents, and today my buddy was up at a garage sale. He found these air yachts. He was talking to the guy who was selling, and they connected the dots. And basically my buddy just told him that he was scooping them up for me, his friend who's a clothing reseller, because I had donated the money to his stepdaughter. It's actually a stepdaughter, not his real daughter, but he takes care of her like a real dad because he's a real man. He was kind enough to basically tell my buddy that he only wanted $2, and he only wanted the $2 because he needed a little bit of change for another customer at the garage sale. So essentially he was going to give 4 pair of air yacht jeans and this air yacht flame resistant shirt to me for free. I'm super grateful for that. I said it just earlier today in this video that I love to always tip out the kids at lemonade stands at garage sales. And today I was fortunate enough to give 2 different sets of kids a couple dollars each. I never take any of the drink or the food. I always just give them advice, and that is to be honest and to work hard. And that's where I found my best success in life. Pretty simple. And so not going to run through the whole scoop today, but I want to go back to one more point, and that is this. As I said earlier, if you can find somebody who can help you out, if you can find somebody who's a mentor who's been doing whatever type of work or whatever type of hobby you want to get into, it's only going to make you better. We're never too old to learn. And so this film and this video today goes out to my good friend Phil. He's an OG reseller. He's been doing it for over 20 years. And for the past 2 years, he has been constantly buying me stuff. And it's just stuff that he wouldn't sell. He's the kind of guy that deals in a lot of collectibles, hard goods, and he's a home run hitter. Let's go ahead and wind this one down. As always, if you like this video, please reach out there, hit that like button. If you see something I passed by that was worth something and I just completely missed it, give me a hard time in the comments. Let me know. And if anything, please subscribe.